Hey everyone, hi to all the early stage founders watching us live today. Welcome to the 100x podcast. Just as a reminder, 100x, we're a first check investor in pre-seed stage bootstrap startups from India. We invest idea stage and up across all sectors. And we've invested in over 161 companies so far, which means we've had a tremendous amount of learnings on what makes a good startup. In this series, we're going to break it down sector by sector on what we believe works for each one. Starting off with consumer brands. Today, I've got Ninad Karpe with me, who's founder and partner, and I'm Vatsal at 100x VC. Welcome, Ninad.
Thank you, Vatsal.
So good to have you. So, what has been the most important thing you've learned about consumer brands?
A lot has been said about innovation, a lot has been said about a great founder, a lot has been said about large market size. But I would think, to encapsulate all our experience, I would think what I look for particularly and what we look for is a new story to be told. Does the founder and does the startup have a story? It could be some old story which is done afresh, or it could be a brand new story. Now, what does story mean? It encompasses all these things. If the story is innovative, the story is good, consumers will listen to it. If the story is bad, it's old, consumers will not buy it. And focus is part of that story. Innovation is part of that story. A great founder's passion is part of that story.
So talking a little bit about story, right? There's a lot of buzz about these challenger brands saying, okay, there's a new brand that's coming and, just killing all old brands. What are your thoughts? Is there truly a place for challenger brands? Because these old brands have so much strength, so much distribution. Can new brands really challenge them in these red ocean markets?
So we have many old brands, toothpaste, for example, brands are absolutely, Colgate is synonymous with toothpaste. And go to rural market, they'll say Cadbury chocolate, they'll say, get me. So those brands are associated with the category. Now, this is not there for all the consumer brands, but in many brands, there are very legacy brands where grandparents, parents are consuming it. But the interesting thing is the Gen Z consumer are now looking for something different. They are not just wanting to consume the same brand. So this is what we call not my parents' brand. It is my own brand, not my parents. Just because parents found this piece of luggage very good and this brand damn good doesn't mean I need to consume it. Me as a Gen Z consumer, I require the same functionality, if not better. But more important, simply better design. I want good looking products. I want products which really make me feel happy, not just a piece of luggage. I'm just as an example, or a ceiling fan. So these are maybe the same functionality looking better, or better functionality and also looking better. This Not My Parents brand is going to disrupt each and every industry. It has just started with couple of consumer brands, but you'll see it in every damn industry in India.
So it's very interesting. It's like an anti-incumbency thing, right? Saying, okay, this is the brand that has been around for my parents for so many generations, and new age consumers are questioning why this brand? Why is this particular product dominating? Is there something better out there for me? And that's where a brand like Embark wins over older brands, right? And say, because new age consumers go and say, listen, this is such a much better product. This matches my values a lot more, right?
So at 100x, we have invested in BPure. It's a water purifier. Obviously, it has better features. But more importantly, such an amazing design, it will appeal to Gen Z consumers. But the interesting part about consumer market in India, both will coexist. It's not as if the parents' brand will die, but they may not see the same level of growth because the new age consumers will go to the not my parents brand, but both will coexist.
It's very interesting. This is something we've worked very closely with founders on from day one, especially in consumer brands. We work with them on branding, positioning, we help them figure out, okay, listen, this is what you should call your brand, this is who you should sell to, this is how you sell it to them. Can you give a couple examples of the kind of work, because you lead this within 100x?
So whenever there is a need to change the brand name, I shudder. People think it's just a simple, "Arey kya naam acha hai?" and let's do it.
Sadak se utha lenge na.
They think they can ask 5 people, "Arey acha lagta hai, chalo, let's do it." It's not that. It's a very detailed, couple of weeks exercise. Questions have to be asked, responses, and then change has to. Why is that such a detailed process? You'll say ultimately, "Arey, this is such a simple thing at the end of it." But it is, because that brand name sticks. It gives certain emotions to the person consuming it. It is something which can actually, at an extreme, create or destroy the brand. So I'll just give 2 examples. There was a brand, called Salon Surf when they came to us. They were giving,
They do the hair cutting salons.
All salons, give easy appointments and easy good deals. And so Salon Surf sounds good because Salon Surf, it tells everything. Yeah. But obviously, we were not happy. And after a lot of discussion, such a nice small brand name they came up with. They went through a detailed exercise. Now it's called Luzo. L-U-Z-O.
Rolls off the mouth.
Absolutely. And it's, so easy for people to remember. Founders love it, consumers love it. Luzo. So that's one example. Recently, we had a brand, they are doing atta, stone ground atta, and, with the same goodness and all that. So they are calling themselves Good Root. Now, Good Root is so generic because there's so many people with that good.
It feels like it's a farm to fork kind of a business.
And Good Root. So, I can go on and on. But then finally, we, after a lot of detailed exercises, we asked him, what is your, basic quality which you're giving to, what do you want to tell the consumer? And this is, of course, a couple of weeks exercise. And they said original goodness. And it was so easy.
Voila.
Origo. We called it Origo. Combined
original goodness. Origo. Wow.
Origo.
Okay.
These are just 2 examples. I can go on and on. But yeah, brand in today's crowded market is very, very critical.
Talking about branding and positioning, one important thing I've learned, we've invested in a company called Beyond Snack. They make Kerala banana chips. In fact, they're better known as Kerala banana chips than as Beyond Snacks right now. What we've learned from Beyond Snack is their positioning from day one was taste. Right? When they began, they wanted to talk about health. But then they came to us, and I think you pushed them saying, focus on taste. Right? My understanding is it's because, it's Maslow's hierarchy. People care first about the taste and health comes second. So how important is this in how you communicate to companies as a consumer brand? How do you position yourself as a consumer brand? Do you have any other examples of such positioning?
So it is contextual, So, in this Kerala banana chips, we pushed them towards taste, and then they had a very interesting marketing campaign calling their chips 24 karat gold.
Wow.
So
I've seen that video. Of course, it's my portfolio company. So, but
you must see the ad on YouTube, 24 karat gold. So from taste, they went to that extreme of saying that it is as tasty as, as taste is important. In that situation, health is there, but it is point number 2. Point number 1 is taste. The question was, do we flip it or do we let it remain as it is? And we decided to flip it because today in our minds, we still feel consumer finds taste as the first and the most important thing. Yes, they are conscious of health, but health is still not number 1. But ideally, they want a great tasting product which is healthy.
And health is something we're definitely excited about. We've invested so far in Naturic in our most recent batch, which is a healthier breakfast alternative. Desi breakfast meals. We've invested in Happy Planet, which is I love their positioning. They say, okay, people care about what's in their body then they cared about what's on their body, and now they care about what's around their body, right? So that's the whole story, where they make these home cleaners, detergents, everything that you use in and around your body, kind of. So that health positioning is something that we see is very exciting, but obviously making sure that the base requirement of taste or quality or smell remains. From Kerala banana chips, another pointer I want to bring up, one of their successful points has been their focus. I remember, again, early days, you and Sanjay said, listen, just come to Mumbai and build it out of Mumbai, and just these 4 SKUs. Can you talk a little bit about focus and how it worked for them and other companies?
Let me complete one kind of snippet on taste. So for taste, we not only focus for human beings, but also for 4-legged people.
Yes, of course.
So recently we invested in Pet Chef, which is fresh food for pets and specifically dogs. So there also said, if I want good taste, I want even my pet to have good taste. So there also we changed the whole concept to taste. But now coming to Kerala banana chips, Manas is a great guy. He's done his MBA and wanted to go back to Kerala to do chips from Ninad bananas, which are healthier, nutritious, really tasty. If you eat a chip from Ninad banana and ordinary banana, the difference is massive. So and they're healthier. So he wanted to make chips, but he also wanted to make other things, which is fair enough, because every founder wants to do a lot of things, because a lot of businesses.
When you're excited about your business, you obviously want to do everything all at once, right? You want to just go there and get it done.
Yeah, you want to churn the ocean, be the very, very big guy. So obviously he wanted to do other stuff like jackfruit and this and that. We told him, no, this will not work. Just focus on Kerala banana chips. It's a crowded market, mind you. If you step out of your home and go down the street, you'll find cheap quality, banana chips fried and deep fried. But these are not untouched by hands, great taste, costlier. But yet it did so well, and we had set a target to him that you have to, make your sales 10x within 24 months, and he did it in 23 months. And the reason I would, argue is just because he focused strongly on Kerala banana chips and did not get into jackfruit and other products.
So is that something you look for when you evaluate a consumer brand, saying, okay, are these guys focused, number of SKUs, geography wise? Is that something you look at?
Well, if the founder is not willing to do that, obviously it's not something which we look at it very well. But the interesting part is Kerala banana chips, I think around 3.5-4 years, he still hasn't started any other product. He's still going deeper and deeper
in banana chips.
It's become stronger and stronger every month.
That's a credit to Manas and his ability to focus and execute, to be honest. It's unreal.
True.
How he's done it.
So that focus still continues. And I think it's very important at a very early stage to really focus very strongly either in a product, geography, channel, or a combination of the three.
Talking about channels and focuses, Omni-channel. 10 years ago, D2C was all the rage because there was arbitrage, right? Nobody knew how to do advertisements on Facebook, Instagram. And so those who could got customers at very cheap acquisition costs. That's not the case today. You're now competing with very large pockets for customer attention. And so now the conversation is all about omni-channel, multiple channels. Do you have any thoughts? Should brands go omni-channel from day one, sell? What is the context and what do you look for in brands in the GTM?
So, going omni-channel from day one is tough. Because you are then spreading your marketing spend over various channels. I would not say anything more than 2 channels would be advisable from day one. Why 2? Why not 1? Sounds logical, 1. Because you should always have an option. If that one doesn't work, at least
experimentation.
Second 2. Because you don't know what works where. It's not as if if you have this is going to work. There are so many moving parts, but the interesting thing with young founders is they have figured very different GTMs. They have figured very different ways of reaching the consumer. whether it's forming a great community, whether doing in India waitlist marketing is still not done very well, but it's going to happen. But there are these new methods which are very different from traditional FMCG companies, which had a large marketing budget, spent on print ads, stuff the channel, make it available everywhere, and it is success. It does succeed for them, but it will not succeed for startups.
That's very interesting, because I think we have a very strong thesis on community first as well, right? We've invested in multiple community companies, including Blue Learn, for example, Harish and Shreyans, who've had their own YouTube channel, built a YouTube community, and then about 150,000 strong student community. That's very interesting. Talking about channels again, consumer brands, all the rage right now is quick commerce. Everybody wants to sell on quick commerce. What are your thoughts? Are things changing? Is quick commerce going to drastically change how brands sell and how consumers consume?
This is just the beginning. If quick commerce did not succeed in US, there was a reason, and that's exactly the reason it will really succeed in India. Delivery costs are very high in the Western markets, and obviously it was not affordable. But in India, it is not that high, and more importantly, instant gratification. Now you want, electronic gadget. You don't want to wait for 4 days, 5 days. You want it in 20 minutes flat.
I mean, you can order an iPhone on Blinkit. It's crazy.
It's damn good for a consumer. It puts pressure on the people delivering. So quick commerce is today somewhere in single digits, higher single digits. I think there will be a time when e-commerce, other than quick commerce, will be in single higher digits.
Yeah.
Will that be in 2026? I think that's too early. But let's wait for 2030.
Wow.
E-commerce will be in single higher digits, and quick commerce will be the other way around.
That's a bold comment. That's a bold comment. Especially, I think we're hearing even Flipkart wants to now get into.
They have to flip their business model.
It's very interesting, because what we're also seeing, and this is one of our portfolio companies, for example, called Pick and Dell, right? There are companies that are enabling quick commerce. So Pick and Dell, what they do is, if you're a consumer brand and you want to give that quick commerce, same day delivery, 1 hour delivery, 3 hour delivery, or even 24-hour delivery experience to your customers, they enable them through their own set of dark stores. And it's a white label solution on your website. So now, as a D2C brand, whereas earlier you were shipping only from your local warehouses, wherever you're manufacturing, to the customer over 2 to 3 days, what you can say is, okay, I've set it up in a Pick and Dell warehouse in Mumbai or in Delhi, and when somebody orders on my website, I can have it delivered within an hour. So we're not ready for how quick commerce will change consumer behavior, to be very honest.
It's great you so-called a Pick and Dell, but if you as a consumer feel happy you're getting something in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, remember there's a huge battery of people, technology, process, data science, AI, massive industry behind just wanting to give you the product in 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Absolutely. Actually, Baylink maybe. Yeah. Baylink is another company we invested, right?
So all these guys are using massive amount of crunching data, having logistics partners. It's fascinating what's happening.
Absolutely. Okay, we've talked about everything that excites us about consumer brands, but we've not talked about the most important thing.
Which is?
Do you think revenue is everything when a company comes to you? If a company comes saying, I've spent 2 crore rupees to earn 1 crore in monthly revenue, is that impressive to you?
So I think it's, revenue was impressive, not is impressive anymore. Today, I think margins are important. Gross margins are important. CM1, CM2, all these have become very important factors. If you're earning revenue of 100 and your net CM is negative of 200, it was okay at one point of time, but now no longer as attractive. You have to be conscious of margins.
Absolutely. No, we've seen, especially, let's say, for example, a quick commerce platform, right? If you have to launch any product on quick commerce, they have a 30 to 40% take rate. which means if you don't have a gross margin of at least 60%, you have no money to make there. Because on top of a 35 odd percent or 35% that a quick commerce takes, there's going to be another 10%, at least 10 to 12% you're going to have to spend on marketing, anything else on logistics and other variable costs. So having a healthy gross margin starting with a 50-60% is very crucial.
So the beauty of the Indian marketplace is that there is a whole range of products where you can have gross margin of 60 to 80%. Unlike the Western markets where gross margins are definitely not 70-80%. India has still got so much depth. How long will this depth of huge gross margins remain? My guess is at least next 7 years, 5 to 7 years.
So at 100x, do you look at companies that come and say we need capital to start selling and building this consumer brand? Would you invest in a consumer brand idea stage?
So out of 161 which we have invested, I think if I'm not mistaken, 4 to 5 were really just a PowerPoint. They got a PowerPoint. It's not a norm. Obviously we would like to see something more than a PowerPoint. But yeah, out of that 4 were, and 1 or 2 of them are doing exceedingly well. But for a consumer brand to fund at a PowerPoint stage is not easy. We need to see. These 4 were not consumer. They were SaaS business and software business.
Absolutely.
Which is very different.
In consumer brands, I think that's been a learning where you need at least a couple lakhs of revenue, some early sales, some product validation correct. From the market. Because in India, there's a market for anything you want to sell. So I can prove by selling anything generally in India. All that aside, looking ahead for the next 2 years, what is exciting you? Any specific consumer brands or categories that is exciting you? I know, like, for example, you were looking for a coffee company for so long and you finally got to invest in Up Coffee and it's worked out really well. So are there any other categories that you're very excited about in India?
So coffee, the Up Coffee is such a great example. Great coffee at honest prices. He's not saying value or cheap. Honest prices. Such a great brand name. So try Up Coffee if you can. It's superb coffee. I think there are still so many domains which are not tested by challenger brands. Or from the time a Gen Z consumer wakes up till she or he goes to sleep, she or he is consuming so much stuff, from toothpaste to breakfast to lunch to fans, air conditions, transport. I can name at least 50 products which are just ripe for challenger brands, which are just ripe for what we call not for my parents' brand. It's from shoes to socks, to t-shirts. You have to just step out, use your imagination.
Absolutely.
And see what a Gen Z consumer wants.
I know you were also very excited about ice creams as a category. Recently, I think there was a company called Hocco which fundraised a lot. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Sure, ice creams, Indians love ice cream. They are, obviously this is the right time to eat in summers. But through the year, Indians love ice cream.
Absolutely.
And there's so much to be done in ice cream.
And India is a place where you can actually create phenomenal new markets because it is so untapped. I mean, take the example of energy drinks. Red Bull had 100% of the market, right? Nobody, and then Sting came along with a 90% cheaper product, and now they're number 1 in the market in terms of. I mean, it's unreal. They've created this whole, like, Red Bull as an energy drink was a premium market, and they created a mass market for it. It's phenomenal.
So consumer brands need not create market. Wait for some big guy, big daddy to come, spend money, create a market, and then go quickly with an honest priced product, which feels good. Absolutely. And you can go really make good money.
It's phenomenal. Any last thoughts on what are some common pitfalls that you've seen that consumer brand founders should avoid before they come to you and pitch to you?
I think one of the biggest things is founders saying, "Arey, consumer is asking for this also, so I'm having this. Arey, consumer asking for." So instead of just saying, "I'm going to send only banana chips," oh, consumers coming in for potato chips, consumers coming for jackfruit. Consumer wants everything. You are not there for satisfying all the needs of the consumer, and this is a common mistake. The mistake is for a startup founder is you're not a shop. You're not a person fulfilling all the needs. You've got limited capital. Go deep, go specialize, focus strongly, and make ensure that one or two products make great wins. Then go to the next step. So that's a common pitfall. Normal business is not a startup business. Vice versa, a startup business is not a normal business.
When you're in a startup, you have to get to 8,000 crores in 7 years or bust. There's like no other way out. I think to add on to that, one thing that I believe founders should avoid is pricing themselves incorrectly. And yes, price is a matter of discovery, etc. But a lot of companies want to mark themselves as premium, but then they price it at par with competitors, saying, oh, people will not pay this much money. But you've not tested it out, right? When you believe your product brings a certain value to the market, you price it the way you want to. Apple doesn't care that my product iPhone cost me only $200 to make, but I'm selling it at $1,000. It's an 80% gross margin. They don't worry about it. They say people will buy. Those who can afford will buy. And that's my customer. If they can't afford it, they're not my customer. I'm okay with it. Right? And I'm very bullish on consumer brands that go premium and are capable of demanding their price. Right? I would rather work with a customer or a consumer brand which is willing to say, listen, I'll have only 100,000 customers, but they will be so loyal to me and have a large wallet share that they'll give to me. I don't know if that's something you like.
So, why I'm smiling is, Vatsal, Apple is, Q4. It's a right-hand quadrant top, which should not be taken as an example for founders. But yes, you can get inspired with what Apple do. But there is a real-life story within our portfolio, which, we should probably share with the consumers, with all the viewers. Women like you who came to us, it's a swimwear brand for women of all body types. And there are two co-founders, one of them, Srijal, is a designer. We had discussion, and as she was going, they were pricing themselves obviously competitively. And as she was leaving, I just told Srijal, you're a designer. Are you ready to, and this is a real life story, are you ready to put your name on your brand? She said, why not? I said, put it and double the price, and you see how it goes. Make it different. And she left. I didn't even follow up with her. Are you doing it? Not doing it? You know how 100x works.
Yeah,
we are
of course.
We don't bother the consumer. The founders every day. The fantastic news is she launched a brand within a brand called Waves by Srijal, which was premium price, limited quantity, branded by her own design. There was a normal price swimwear, and there was a Waves by Srijal. Quantity was lesser compared to this, but value-wise, she suddenly discovered that she can actually charge premium by giving a different-looking product, putting your own brand name. So there's a lesson for pricing. It's not Apple, but yeah, it is similar. So you can discover price in this manner. You have a normal swimwear, and then you have Waves by Srijal, where you can double the price. And of course, it's not just doubling price, Vatsal. It's all about delivering that value at that price. It has to be unique designs, limited editions, all of that.
If there's no value in the end, then the customers are not going to buy anyway. No, very true. And I think with that, we'll end things for today. Thank you so much for viewing us, and join us next time for another sector breakdown at 100x Podcasts.